The overconfidence bias. How does it affect our legal work? The biggest impact in my experience is that we, you and I, but practically any lawyer, we systematically overestimate our chances of success, our ability to win, to prevail. And as we've seen in the last episode, especially men suffer from this affliction. Understanding the overconfidence bias is particularly important first for thinking about the case strategy. Yes, we want to be fired up and we are passionate about winning and we have to find creative ways to do so. But at the same time, we need a cool head to assess as objectively as possible the strengths and weaknesses of our client's case. Overconfidence bias gets in the way of this objective assessment, unfortunately. And that, second, can lead to bad decision making when we get to the juncture of exploring settlements with the other side. In particular, because the opposing lawyer also suffers from overconfidence bias. There is a lot of research backing this up, most of it from the US. Interestingly, even in studies with random assignments, legal advocates still overwhelmingly perceive that the legal merits favor the side that they were randomly assigned to represent. What's more, the research also found that overconfidence is associated with poorer performance in advocacy, which makes sense because when you already believe that you'll win, you might not work as hard as someone who believes they have an uphill battle. And then negotiations fail because each side is way too overconfident of their position. Okay, but what's the remedy? Something like this. Looks complicated? Well, maybe more complicated than it is, but it's also not easy. This is probabilistic risk analysis using expected values, a tool to more objectively assess the chances of success. Probabilistic risk analysis, that's a mouthful. And you have to learn a bit about probabilities, including compound probabilities, which are a frequent trap in assessing cases. But it's definitely a worthwhile exercise. Perhaps not for every case, but for sure when a lot is at stake. At our firm, we've used these tools at the outset of a case for the decision whether to bring a claim or not, in the middle of it when discussing settlements, and also for advising clients whether to appeal an adverse decision or not. Of course, I have heard colleagues argue, well, all of that is still very imprecise. How do you know which values to use for each branch of those decision trees? Sure, granted, that's a limitation. But what's better? At least some form of methodical approximation that also helps as a counterweight to the overconfidence bias, or just putting a finger in the air and trusting your gut feeling. So, show confidence in your arguments when you present your case to the arbitrators or judges. Believe in your ability to win the case, but at the same time, make sure you keep a cool head. Make sure you always know what the real chances of success are. Don't let the overconfidence bias screw you up. That's it for today. In the next episode, we will delve into the hindsight bias. Good stuff. See you then. Bye.